Ready? We're doing it. What a wild couple match days it's been. Rapids hold on for 2 1-0 wins. We recap it all. What to expect tonight against a hot Timbers team. And there's all sorts of star-spangled banter we need to get into starting now. Live from the downtown Denver on the corner of Colfax and York, right above the DNVR bar from the Toyota Lounge. It's DNVR Rapids, baby. We're doing it. What a time to be alive as the Pids pull off 2 unlikely dubs, get those 6 points. I was ready to pound the panic button. We'll get into it all. Of course, coming to you from the Toyota Lounge, we are driven by your Front Range Toyota stores. Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. I'm joined by super producer Yahir Vasquez. Yeah, how are you doing today?
I'm good, man. Exhausted. I'm here. I'm kicking. Ready to pit it up.
Good. You're fueled by all the trash talk towards Christian Pulisic and
that's
the U.S. national team's imminent demise.
You asked me, are you cool talking about Christian Pulisic? I'm like, yeah, I'm down to shit talk him for a couple of minutes.
Hey, we'll have a full-on haters ball here in a second. That's segment 3, so tune in for segment 3. Don't want to miss that one. And, of course, downtown Dwayne Brown, the most downtownist. Downtown, you were at both games.
I was.
I think you are
sat through that rainy mess.
Your presence is worth an extra Pids goal alone, I think. I think that's what the data shows.
I feel good. We're coming off of 6 points. The Rapids did what they needed to do. You know, you're supposed to beat the teams that are worse than you, and they did. That's a good sign for the club.
Yeah, they also get St. Louis City's coach fired. You love to see that.
Love that. Yapi, the coach destroyer.
Dude, truly. Ender of worlds.
It's Yapi hour for that guy.
Well, I mean,
Yapi hour's too fun. It can't be Yapi hour for that guy.
I'm so proud of Yapi, man.
The bell tolls.
I'm so proud of Yapi. I'm so proud of how this team responded. They showed some real resiliency. Let's get into that with some flowers from the fellas. A classic like no others. It's a segment we only get to do so often. We'd love to do it every single week because that graphic is absolutely amazing.
It's from the heart.
Honestly, I wish we could open up a flower shop altogether in the 1950s, you know?
That was what my grandfather...
Oh, man, simpler times.
I don't want to be around in the 1950s if I'm honest. But I think it'd be a really fun concept.
You might have been the best soccer player in America back then, Yayo.
Bro, I might have been the best soccer ball in America back in the day.
Wow. Let's get the flowers from the fellas. Downtown Dwayne Brown, our little ray of sunshine. Why don't you start us off? I think Yaya and I need it. On the bookends, you know, we're swarming you with the negative takes here.
A lot of pickings and losses
Save us.
on these 2 wins here.
That's right.
I mean, there's one guy. There's several guys that need flowers, but there's one guy that absolutely deserves the flowers.
Oh, man.
It's Nico Hansen.
Let's go.
He's got his first 2 clean sheets. 2/3 of all of his performances are shutouts. They're
what
clean
a
sheets.
way to make a mark.
Zack Steffen, our guy, goes down with an oblique injury.
Yeah, what the hell?
Adam Beaudry out with injury. We saw Nico. I thought he played pretty well in that 1-1 draw, his kind of debut against Seattle. But then we see him come in, of all games, the Rocky Mountain Cup, game 1 versus Salt Lake. All of us were a little bit worried. We didn't know what we were going to get. Not having a full squad, coming off of a lot of not wins for a month.
We should mention last time we did this podcast was before that San Diego FC game.
Yep.
And after, I have just never been lower. I'm so concerned about Sammy Vines after that game too, by the way.
Yep.
So yeah, for them to then pull off those 2 dubs and Nico to have the impact he had, RSL didn't necessarily test him.
I mean, to be fair, neither did really St. Louis. He had one huge save.
Well, that
was
one-on-one
the
opportunity.
Yeah, that's what I
where
mean.
That was just like
Not taking anything away from Hansen.
That was incredible.
He's been balling.
That
Not
was
taking
the
anything
save
away.
of the entire MLS week.
Like,
So
I'm not taking anything
That
away.
stance he pulls off, that's like Jordan brand worthy, you know, like
Silhouette.
yeah,
Make it the league logo.
Yes, make it the league logo. Nico Hansen, baby, you in on that, Dwayne?
We have
From a
Jay
design
Vance. Why can't we
standpoint?
have Nico
I'm in.
Hansen?
He needs a nickname.
It's
Just
Nico.
if everyone was as old as I am, it would be Nico Suave.
Oh, I like that.
So
That's
I don't know,
sick.
that old song, Nico Suave.
No idea what that's from.
I'll play
Like
it for
me?
you. I think you would love
Go
it.
ahead.
Well, it was about 20,000 years before your
You've
time.
never heard of Rico Suave?
Rico, never Nico.
Oh,
not
that's
Nico.
the
Oh, he's
that's
named
the
the song
pun.
Nico
That's
Suave.
the pun, dude.
Yes.
You never heard of puns,
I don't think-
bro?
No, I haven't.
I don't think Yaya understands how nicknames work.
An R2 call up, a Danish American. We all stand Nico. He was incredible. Great way to start us off. Those are great flowers to give.
He's deserved them.
We stand a king,
100%.
no
We do.
doubt. Yaya?
Nico
Do you have
Suave.
anyone in particular you want to flower up?
Nico Suave, German rapper.
Is that right? Oh, that's
Is there an
sick.
actual
There's
Nico?
Oh.
So maybe we just call him the German Slim Shady, and that might work.
That's the fake Nico Suave.
I'm bumping that as soon as this pod is over.
So-
We're listening to some Nico
Kevin
Suave.
in the chat. That's the other one we've floated around. Nico Mbop Hansen.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good one. Keep it with the music puns.
You get that reference, Yaya?
Do you understand that one?
I've heard the noise before.
Hell yeah. Love that.
Yaya, have you heard of music before?
Love that.
Not a lot of
Have you
English,
ever
if I'm
heard of
honest.
Do you guys remember when Yaya discovered Prince?
No,
Like,
it wasn't Prince.
No,
it
it
was Billy
wasn't.
Joel.
Oh, it was Billy Joel.
Billy
sorry,
Joel,
sorry.
Billy
That
Joel.
was
Still.
3 years ago.
For those of
Low-key
you,
a big Prince guy, though.
for those
right?
Oh,
of
yeah.
you watching
About a year
and
ago, I
or
discovered
listening,
Prince.
for those of you watching and or listening, Yaya just discovered a year ago Billy Joel.
No, it was 2 years now. I think 3.
Has it been 2?
I think 2 or 3. It's been a while.
Have we been doing it this long?
It's been a while. This is season 3, baby.
2 years. 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, he's young.
Still 2 years
All
ago.
right, to bring it back to the 1950s.
That would be 2023.
Let's go
Yes.
back to the 1950s.
Back to our delightful,
Yeah.
delightful flower shop before a soccer league in the U.S. could even be conceived. When even mentioning women's sports would get you burned at the stake. Flowers from the fellas, please, Yaya.
And I hate to do this to
Oh,
you,
boy,
Jackson
that's-
Travis, to be mentioned in this
Let's
segment.
go.
This dude is balling. I've talked to both of you guys, and I think he's the best wingback the Rapids have.
What a time to
I
be
think-
alive. Nico and Jackson Travis getting their flowers.
I think he's a top 2 prospect on the Rapids. I think he's ready to break through. I love the way that Armas has deployed him. He's been playing the midfield on attack, and he's been killing it. He has the speed to track back. He makes a mistake and is willing to throw himself in a line of fire immediately for that kind of stuff. I love the inverted wing back position that he plays. I think he does it so well. He's so good with the ball. If he has the ball at his feet, I'm not afraid he's gonna lose it. And if he does lose it, I'm confident enough that he can run all the way back and recover that mistake. I just think he's been balling. He's next up for the Rapids, in my opinion.
Well, and I mean, it's just such a difference from the left back play you got in that San Diego FC game that you've gotten from time to time that's been a little troubling. Sometimes even when Jackson Travis has started, solid. Just solid, professional showing. The invertedness, that kind of then adds a little more to the midfield, to that center mid.
It adds to that wrinkle where then, especially you saw it a lot against St. Louis, where he can come in and then Ollie can drift to the left, and that allows Đorđe to come in if needed, and that just gives so much fluidity in that top three like winger 10 kind of attack. And then Yapi is just so good at holding the ball and making run of play, and that it just frees up everybody so much more in that kind of position.
Oh man, I love these first two selections so much. And it's why I will be very unoriginal. Nico and Jackson Travis, not names you've heard in Flowers from the Fellas before. Ollie Larraz, a name you have definitely heard. Yep. But how can I not? Ollie Larraz, oh my God. The Rocky Mountain Cup on his back. He takes the responsibility everywhere. Omnipresent. A word you should only hear at church, but I use it for Ollie Larraz because it is factual with him. Literally, as the kids like to say, omnipresent everywhere. Playing great defense. RSL, as I said. Now, I think they conceded more possession, right? I was tight for a lot of that RSL game. I'm not going to lie.
Sure.
But Ollie is that guy who made sure they couldn't get more than that. They couldn't get more than just some fluff possession. Classic Pablo ball, by the way.
Yep.
Just disgusting.
Easy to beat.
It's
Don't you
disgusting.
kind of love it though? It's like I kind of love it. Like,
It's great.
it's so disgusting that it kind of like reverts back to being kind of like it's kind of like raw eggs, like they're disgusting, but eventually you're just kind of like, yeah, it's just an egg.
It's blue cheese.
It's blue cheese.
And then he has, like, against RSL, steals the ball at the top of the box, turns around on a pivot, and then has that beautiful through ball that gets Cole a one-on-one in goal that Cole's not able to convert. He's just such a baller. And these two dubs, these 1-0 draw, these 1-0 wins, they don't happen without a guy like Ollie Larraz.
Yep.
He's kind of like Jack Price, but different. He's that stable spine guy. Jack, I think, was a little more nice with it, right? A little more passing
for
and
sure.
vision.
Yeah.
But, later in his career, Jack Price didn't have this kind of stamina or omnipresence-ness. Ollie's just been amazing, man. He's Armas's idea of football on the pitch, and he's the reason you can win ugly games like that. Just phenomenal. God, I love that man so much.
Would you take him in an AC Milan jersey?
Of course.
Be your like third guy off the bench?
Of course.
Andre, would you say Ollie present? Would you?
Yes, I would.
He liked it so much.
Yes, I would. Yes, I would say that. I
No, but
never
you're
want to
right,
say
man. Like,
anything other than that.
We thought that it was going to be Đorđe and Cole, the engine of this midfield. It's turned out it's actually Ollie. Like all along, we had this significant impact on the bench that wasn't getting all the minutes last year. Then he comes in. I mean, he played a lot last year, but he comes in this year completely transformed. Like he's just a guy that there's no quit, no stop. You see him running from the defensive end.
Dude.
Like he's a true definition of a box-to-box player.
Yep, 100%.
And he just doesn't give up.
100%. And you know what? We know that with this team structure, with this roster structure, you need some of your homegrown guys to pop. You need some of your young guys to pop. The 3 guys we just gave flowers to, they're all young. They're all homegrown or at least have come up through the ranks. And that's how this plan is going to work. It's not going to work any other way. And it's huge that you've had these guys step up. I mean, it's a beautiful thing to see.
And Cold Left brings up in the chat that Larraz is a mini-me of Coach Armas. If you go back to Armas's playing time, this is how he played. It was all engine, all heart.
Bro.
Like the talent's there. You have to have it to be this level. But how much effort you put in, like, comes in through that. And one thing I remember so much when Armas, we had him on the show a couple years ago, is he said, I talked to Ollie, we're going to bring in competition. And Ollie said, bring it on. He didn't wilt when he didn't wilt when he saw better players, more esteemed players come in. He said, "All right, let's. If I need to win, if I need to beat you guys out to play, I will beat you guys out." And you can see it on the pitch week in, week out.
Get this man a USMNT call up. He should be the perfect Tyler Adams backup, honestly. let's take a quick break. I think we've got more flowers to get into on the other side. But first, I want to shout out our friends at Toyota. Toyota, what an amazing car. What an amazing vehicle. What an amazing partner for DNVR and the Colorado Rapids. You know it. Trucks, SUVs, they've been part of Toyota's DNA from day one. It's what makes them the perfect Colorado car. Perfect car to go off, get lost in the mountains, go just head west, young man, get lost in the western slopes. It's a beautiful thing to do, and it's a beautiful thing to do with Toyota. It's a great family car. All of our colleagues who have a Toyota, who drive a Toyota, swear by it. They love those cars. Customer service is incredible. The reliability of these machines, the safety, you name it. And they have a ton of 17 models with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. Again, speaking to how they're the perfect Colorado car. And they also offer a ton of low and zero emission vehicles, more than any other automaker. So visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial. Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota, a proud partner of the Colorado Rapids and the official vehicle of DNVR. Let's go places, baby. And boy, speaking of let's go places, those of you brave enough to be in Portland right now to take on the Pids, God bless you, Godspeed, and may Game Time be with you. And their last second ticket deals, because boy, do we need that boost in the Rose City. Did I get that right, Dwayne? Rose City? It's Rose something.
You nailed it.
I thought you said row, and I'm like, yeah, line them up, baby. Knock them down.
Whoa. Game Time, please forgive us for our sins. So yeah, you use the app. Amazing features like the customize your spot. It's so easy to use, man. I love using the Game Time app. I love being the guy in the group who's like, oh no, I'll get those tickets. Hop on Game Time, wait last second, because I'm a procrastinator, of course. So there's nothing better. Game Time rewards you, and then they've got their last second guarantee that takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. So yeah, let's do that. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use our code DNVR for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DNVR. You know it, baby, for $20 off that first purchase, which, as Yaya mentioned on the last show, that the home game for the Pids, that might cover your first ticket. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Downtown Dwayne Brown, back in our flower shop. I imagine Dwayne is wrapping those flowers so beautifully.
It's true.
Like old-timey paper, he's cutting those lines like never before. He's sticking that tape on like it's just like second name, no look, like a Đorđe Mihailović pass, just like pow, pow.
I come from flowers.
Hell yes.
So
hell yeah.
Around this time in the 50s, my granddad, that's what he did after the war.
Oh my God.
He worked at a flower shop. So
what an honor
it's
to
in
be
my
doing
blood.
flowers from
It's
the
in my
fellas
blood.
with you. I love this.
Blood.
I love
Flowers.
this. Okay.
What if I told you the
Taking a
next
turn for the
flower
weirdest today, no doubt. Yes, please.
was
flower me up.
also a homegrown,
Oh, come on.
and his name is Darren Yapi.
Yes! Yes! Darren Yapi forever, I say. God, I love
He's
seeing
just-
that man bag goals.
He's doing it,
He is.
Like
He
everyone's
is.
worried because Hoffa is out, and it's yappy joy time. It's yappy hour. It's,
Yappy hour,
It
yes.
is time. It is the rise of the yappy.
Yeah.
And he's playing really well up front. He's putting the ball in the net.
Oh, yeah.
He's 3 goals in now. And it's something I think we can all feel a little bit more confident about when we were really, really, really worried about Hoffa going out with injuries, with that ankle injury. And so again, we've heard ankle, we've heard it's a high ankle sprain, we've heard whatever ankle sprain, like lower leg injury. Like, you're going to hear all these words, and I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't know what the actual problem is with the ankle, but we know Rafa's ankle is hurt. And you never know with ankle injuries. It could be something when you're only out a couple of weeks, or it could take a lot of time.
Yeah.
Especially in a sport where you're constantly high impact running. So if that's the case and he's going to be out for a bit more time than we thought, it is really, 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 really nice to see Yapi playing well, playing more confident. The rest of the guy, the other thing is the rest of the guys on the team confident in getting the ball to Yapi.
Yep.
And I think those were kind of the disconnects that we saw with Yapi so far last year and the year before, is that when he was getting those minutes, which weren't a lot, it wasn't consistent time. So the gelling wasn't there. You weren't seeing guys comfortable getting the ball to Yapi or even wanting to. And now we're seeing a complete flip-flop. Yapi is the striker on this team right now, until otherwise stated, and he's playing as the striker on this team right now. The rest of the players on the team coming up through the middle or even on the wings, they all understand Yapi is the striker of this team right now. And so we're starting to see it come together. Obviously, yeah, we want to see more than one goal a game. These last 2 games, they're low margins for error. But you've got Nico in the back. The back line has played better.
Oh, yeah.
And that gives space for Yapi and the offense to go to work.
It's incredible. I mean, this is what the prophecy foretold. Yeah. That days like this would be coming for Darren Yapi. And here we are.
I mean, there's a reason he was like a top 3 prospect in the U.S. when it came to the striker position. There's a reason that so many people lauded him. Sometimes it just takes a little bit.
Yep.
We were cheering on a 17-year-old kid a couple years ago, man. He just turned 19. Like, he has so much potential. Like, give him time. Like, he'll actually become somebody. Like, to me, Yapi is just the perfect compliment to Đorđe and to Rafa, because he's just willing to do all the dirty work. He's willing to get in, and Rafa's always been willing to do the dirty work, but this allows Rafa to do more of the fun stuff where he's really good at dribbling past guys, and Yapi's taking away the other defenders. You saw Sam Bassett get a little annoyed because Yapi reached all the way towards his head to pick up that ball during the goal. He's like, oh, I had it, but Yapi just turns around, half turn, and shoots it right in the corner. Like, dude is just an athlete. He's like a specimen of a human.
And that really plays into some of what we're seeing in the chat. With Cole Bassett's left foot. Let's face it, Yapi's not going to finesse dribble past the defenders. It's just not his game, and that's in response to above him with Weath coming in with, Yapi needs to tighten up his first touch and vision, otherwise doing well. And I think what you're saying is you guys are correct, and that's okay. Like, Yapi's game is not the finesse game.
No.
And what we need from the Rapids is less finesse. What we've seen on a lot of these offensive chances that have not gone our way this season is too many passes, and not in the final third, but actually in the box. There's some... you hear Chris Armas say, react. That's been his message. But what we're seeing is when the guys get into the box, there is no react. It's like, let's try to get a clever pass around. And Yapi's, that's not his game. If the ball's there and he's somewhere in the box, he's going to turn and just kick it.
That's right.
And that's what this team needs to balance out. Like, Rafa is really great on his touch. And as much as people don't want to hear it, Kevin Cabral is really great with his feet, and like they can finesse the ball and get it in. But the problem is after that, what's going to happen? Yapi's going to be the guy to just punt the ball. There's another guy who does that too that might come up, and that's Ted Kudi-Pietro. He's also one of those guys. So we're finally starting to get some of those dirty shots that can get in and just go and just kind of force the ball in versus trying to get cute with it.
It's a true finisher's goal, true striker's goal. Just like some people got it, some people don't. Some people can feel where the goal is no matter where they are, no matter if their back is to it. boom, one touch, turn, and just let it dribble in, a little softy, but it's in the perfect angle. Like, that's just like, that was a
true poacher goal.
A true God, that made me feel great.
It's like a Chicharito, like a Huntelaar, like those guys that aren't super talented, but like will get the ball in the net at any cost.
Yep.
And those
100%.
are the best players. My next flowers go off to Josh Atencio. I think he had a really solid game last game. I thought he was really good in possession. I thought he was able to open up a little bit more without Cole because they're not crowding. He was able to come back defensively. I really like how the effort he put in. I know a lot of people are like, he's been fine. I really like this game because he does a lot of the little things I think that brings this offense alive at moments. He's willing to get the ball and just throw it forward, and he's willing to touch and move. And I feel like that's what the Rapids are missing sometimes, a passing structure, and he's used to a passing structure, so he's always trying to find that extra space. I just think Josh it feels like right now he's a Ferrari's engine inside a Beetle. It works, it runs, and it's going fast, but if you put him inside a Ferrari, I think he'd just be that much better.
I like it. Game against St. Louis, his best game as a Rapid. What do you think?
For Josh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Maybe not coincidental that it came when Cole wasn't on the pitch.
I've been saying this for weeks.
It's been a topic for us, I think, all season is figuring out how to make those two guys work in.
And you can't take Ollie off
midfield.
now. So, is Cole the odd man now?
Ollie set and forget. Yeah, I don't know. We shall see for sure. I will give mine to Ted DiPietro. I think he's had such an impact as a sub in the RSL game. That crossbar, everyone thought that was a goal, him included. And then he gets the assist, right? Like that's his assist on that Yapi goal. So his impact has really been there. He is a bit different because he's forward thinking. He takes guys on. He's got some flair. He's got some creativity. He wants those one-on-one opportunities, and he's not afraid to take a shot if he gets it. So I think Dwayne kind of pointed out some of his successes as well. I don't think it's a coincidence that now that he's kind of getting going and starting to have a real impact, that it's shown itself up in 2 consecutive wins for the Rapids. That's another guy which, for this off-season plan they took on going into this season, was going to have to kind of show up and make up some of those margins. And, he has done that. If he can start showing the flashes he's shown consistently, you have a pretty high-end, attacking midfielder, winger on this team that you haven't had for a minute.
Since probably Michael Barrios that 1 year.
Mikey...
In 2020, that might have been the last.
Did you see the clip Rapids put up of Mikey yesterday?
Yeah, that's why I remembered immediately.
Yeah, I haven't. Oh man, I forgot all about that goal.
He's also, he kind of that's the last time we had a real winger that you feared.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm glad I didn't have to go back to Poppy, remember? Or Gashi, but yeah, I think you're right. I think it's been a minute. There's not a ton. So yeah, KDP has been awesome. And as the chat's saying, hopefully can be a regular starter soon enough. Also, shout out to Sam on a great first debut, a solid first debut, I'd say. Again, these injuries may be forcing you into having to enact this plan a little more. And would you believe it? The returns haven't been terrible. Especially now that you've gone through your growing pains a little bit and you're starting to see a little more confidence from Jackson Travis, Nico, KDP, and so on. Let's take another quick break, and we've got a game tonight to get into. We've got USMNT call-ups and feel-outs to not come on the team. We've got everything to get into. So starting now, there you go. Oh, perfect. We want to shout out our the kit sponsor for the Colorado Rapids. DNVR Rapids is brought to you by UC Health, the official healthcare partner of the Colorado Rapids. Go to uchealth.org for more info. UC Health, live extraordinary. And also a shout out to our friends at Shady Rays. If you're at the Richard, what are you doing? If you live in Colorado, Shady Rays is a go-to. I love Shady Rays because their lenses are good. They're like a nice lens, you know, got good structure, great styles, fun styles, all sort of options. But then they're not expensive. I couldn't do the super expensive designer glasses because I'll break them, I'll lose them, I'll whatever, you know. And I want I'd rather have 5 pairs and than like 1 pair, which I really got to hold on to. And Shady Rays is just the perfect sunglass company for me. I love their styles. I'm always rocking them in the car, on the go. You know what I mean? If you're in Colorado, you basically need sunglasses 350 days a year. So yeah, Shady Rays is an independent sunglass company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Their shades have durable frames and crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all outdoor adventures, like going to see the Rapids at the Richard. Check them out. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com and use code DNVR for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Okay.
I got one last group.
Please.
One last little bouquet
Do it.
to throw out. Goes to a lot of people, and then one person in particular.
Yeah.
It's everybody who stayed for Rapids Unified.
Yes.
After
Yes.
Rocky Mountain
Yes.
Cup first game, Rocky Mountain Cup second game. I still think we can do better, but that was the most people I've ever seen by far for a unified match. It was awesome. So shout out to you if you stayed. And shout out to the Rapids for pushing the game, to C38 for staying and chanting and cheering throughout the entire unified match. And then to both unified squads, put on a really great game. And then my flowers
Yes.
for this fella
Yeah.
for the unified game, Colin Underley, the keeper. If you didn't stay for the game, I'm not sure I've ever seen a goalkeeper performance like that in a unified match.
Really?
Colin was all over the place. I mean, that game could have been easily 3-0 Salt Lake. This kid was on it. I mean, so many diving saves. It was awesome.
I saw Big Steph talking to him.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Just he had a great game. The whole squad had a great game. So flowers for that. Kevin mentioned it in the chat as well.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Really, really fun time. And great job. All 3 Rapid squads just taking it to Salt Lake in a 24-hour period. Beat down. It was
love
great.
to see it. You love to see it. That's a great shout out. I'd also mention build up from the back. That was a big complaint. I think that's really paid off though the last couple games. That's how that Đorđe goal comes in RSL is passing it back, Cheeto to Maxu, and then back up, and there comes the goal.
It works against bad teams for sure.
No doubt. USMNT, a little Star Spangled Banter.
Oh, boy.
Let's go.
We've got a big Steph
Is there
call
anything
up.
going on?
Gold Cup coming up.
anything to
Gold
talk
Cup
about?
coming up. Is Big
What's the
Steph going to be
roster
healthy
looking
for
like?
this?
Here's my thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know the severity of
You think
the injury.
he's resting up right now?
Yeah, I
kinda
got
get
a
that feeling,
nod,
too.
got a grin and a nod going on. If you're not watching, and I was thinking about this on the drive-in this morning. I don't know how severe the injury is. I know that Zack Steffen's a tough dude, so he's probably able to play. But he's got Gold Cup coming up, and this is an audition again. Yeah, every opportunity is an opportunity to get onto that World Cup squad. So they might be resting him. Rapids might be doing him a solid, and why not? When you got Nico Hansen playing like he is right now.
Totally.
he deserves a shot at that. He deserves a shot to be at the
Totally.
World Cup. Like,
100%.
I'm not mad at
Absolutely.
it. Like, I'm sure he is injured. I don't think he's the kind of guy
100%.
to just rest up.
Yeah.
But like, it's giving his body the complete chance to compete for that shot to play at a World Cup in your own home turf.
I agree.
When Matt Turner hasn't been
course.
playing great, why not go for it? Like,
Yeah.
Chris Armas is probably doing him a huge favor, which makes him even a bigger players coach, which helps him out even more. Like, should just go for it. I think he's going to be fine for that. I'm so excited to see him in that USMNT.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, he better get some starts.
I think he
Like,
will.
you better try him out. Even if he's not the set and forget starter, at least try him out. Give him a chance.
Better. Or
I think they're
I'm
gonna give-
out on this coach.
That's what I'm saying.
I think they're going to rotate Matt Turner, Zach, group stage. After that, I think they're going to go with Zach. I think Zach's going to outperform Matt Turner.
Surprised to not see Georgie even on the camp invite list.
No, mostly because there's just been a lot of MLS players that have been killing it this year, like a bunch of them. It's just unfortunate for Georgie that they play in his position. Like Diego Luna's
Yeah.
probably first name in that's written in
For
right
sure.
there. Then
Yeah.
you have Brian White that's probably right there next to him. Then you go down the list and you have the striker out from Charlotte that's
Yeah.
right on. So it's just
Ajimon,
it's
yeah.
such a long list, and unfortunately they just play where he plays. That it's just coach's preference at that point.
I just argue Georgie's been as good, if not better, than all of them.
Diego, I don't think he's
Brian
been
White,
better than
maybe with the
like,
exception. Brian White's.
It's also Brian
on
White. Like,
fire.
so that last spot is like, where do you really want to go? And I think it's just coach's preference. I do think he's the next name up right after that. But I think it was between him and Diego, if I'm honest. And I think they just gave it to Diego at the end.
I think that they are trying out goal scorers. And while Georgie scores a lot of goals for us, I still don't see Georgie as a goal scorer. And I don't mean that in a negative way. Like, I think Georgie is the most valuable piece on any team in that you need a guy who is a playmaker, a ball distributor up top. And that's what Georgie does. Like, he is a superstar at that for the Rapids. And I feel like USA is pretty set in stone who they want in the midfield at that position. And so I think you're trying out goal scorers with Luna and you're trying out with White.
Sure.
So
And I get that Luna's more of a long-term play.
Yeah,
I just think as good as Luna's been this season, Georgie's been better.
I agree 100%. I'm just thinking about
and I mean-
positionally who they know they're going to
sure,
have
for sure.
versus what they need to take a look at.
And I mean, just
And I'm not saying I agree
like,
with that
we-
either.
we literally
I still
just
think
saw
Georgie
him
might need to be in there.
head to head, and Luna got kind of muzzled, and Georgie scored the game-winning goal.
Yep.
Like I'm just saying. Also, like Pulisic is out, so maybe trying guys exactly like Georgie might be a play. But
That's the one where I would have kind of brought him in for that one reason.
that's what I'm saying.
But I don't know, man.
I know. I mean, I worry that it's kind of just never gonna happen at this point.
He might be one of those guys that just kind of is always around and
Yeah.
he actually makes it, but he's never just like a constant make. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind
yeah.
of gets capped here and there.
For sure. Pulisic being out, lots of chatter on that. Certainly disappointing. I think the take that it's disappointing or even concerning that he doesn't get those minutes to the lead up to the World Cup are legitimate. I think some of the criticism to the kid is pretty unwarranted.
They should probably go a
and
little bit harder,
out of
honestly.
left field.
Should probably go a little bit harder on that guy, if I'm honest.
Yeah,
And-
I mean,
Any other fan base would have already burned him at the stake. Any other country would have already burned him at the stake. He would be the
maybe-
They would be the
maybe.
number one talking
I
point
also
in
think
all of the
this
country.
is part of the problem, and it's why I can tell you for one, yeah, the fan bases we root for, Italy and Mexico, no doubt, burned to the stake. And you know what? That might be why those federations have had a really hard time the last 20 years.
You won Euros like
Well,
7
we
years
also
ago.
haven't qualified for a World Cup in like 3 tries now. And I think this is part of the issue is we build them up so quick you're Captain America, you're the next great, you're this, that, and the other, and you're dating models, and you're on the cover of everything, and Paramount Plus has a documentary for you, and then we're ready to tear you down the second you don't live up to the hype we built up. It's like, that guy's a bum. Ruin his life.
Isn't it?
And then, you know what? And then we're surprised when it's like, oh man, these stars, they never pan out, huh? Whatever happened to Freddie Adu, huh?
But this is a little bit
that guy
different than
didn't
that,
work
though,
out. What a surprise. Oh, Gio Reyna, it's not working out after we dragged him through the mud for a year, putting his family through a scandal. Oh gosh, shocking. It didn't work out, huh?
But
He's not doing so well now.
I get that. I understand.
Whose fault is that?
But that only makes sense when you're not producing on the field. This dude doesn't even want to go and try and produce on the field.
I mean, he's
That's
literally
very
played
different.
in every competition they've asked him until now.
I'm telling you, if you just go
He's
to
coming
camp,
off his 2 best seasons.
Are you saying that Pulisic isn't producing on the field?
No, that's what I'm saying. He is producing on the field, but what I'm saying is that the reason that argument doesn't work is that those guys that you brought up just didn't produce on the field. Pulisic he's deciding not to play, which is very different. That's why we turn him down, not because he hasn't been good. He's been good, but he's actively deciding not to show up. And my thing is, you show up for preliminary, you go to camp, you go do everything, you talk to the coach, hey dude, I'm tired, bring me in for the later rounds, bring me in as a sub, just go train with them. You don't have to be the superstar and play every game, but go be with your squad because they need you, because you need those reps, you need those minutes.
How
you
many
need those
training
time.
camps has he had with this group?
It
They've
doesn't
been together for like 6 years,
how
man.
much then it's a World Cup. It's leading up to
No, I know, but he's not
summer.
missing the World Cup. He's missing the Gold Cup. Who cares about the Gold Cup?
But the Gold Cup is the last competition you have before the World Cup. It's the last active minutes and competitive minutes that you have with your squad. He's missed the Gold Cup for the last 3 years, and I didn't care. It's whatever. Do what you want. But this is actually one that you should be there for because it's leading up to something that's so big, so important, not just for you, for your team, for your country, for everything that's coming up. I'm not asking you to play every minute. I'm not asking you to go out there and be a superstar. I'm not asking you to go score 10 goals in this tournament. I'm asking you, be there. Show up.
Coming for the camp for the vibes is a legitimate compromise.
I'm not saying
That seems legit.
you have to go play every minute of this tournament because you don't. You're tired. I get it. You've been playing great overseas. I get it's just a Gold Cup, but it's so important to build this chemistry. And I know nobody in that locker is mad. I know they understand Pulisic and where he's coming from. It's not even that, but it's so important to be there and to show out because you are the leader of this team. You are the face of this team. And when your leader is saying, I'm not showing up because I'm tired, what message does that give?
He's dealing with some nagging injuries.
Just be there. I'm not asking you to be the best player. Just be there. You've missed every Gold Cup for the last 4 years. Nobody has said anything. We don't care. This one is important because it is the last competitive minutes you have with the squad.
Dwayne, I'd love to hear your take.
Where it is a bummer is for the last part of what Yaya said. This is the longest time that this team will have to train together as far as a group of time to train together and play competitively together. So I put this kind of on Poch, to be honest. I don't feel like he's putting any pressure on the top players to be there.
Sure.
Fulham put out that Robinson had a tiny surgery today. So everyone's like, oh, well, what if Milan put that out and said, Pulisic had a tiny surgery today. Would everybody be okay with it? Finally, probably not. They'd still find a reason to bury him.
But he's dealing with a chronic hip flexor injury, which sounds as concerning as a minor surgery.
But no one cares unless you say he got treatment for it. Anyway, all that is to say, I am bummed out there are this many top players not going to be at the tournament. Do I think Gold Cup matters? Nope. Honestly, to me, this is just the Dwayne take. I don't really care about Gold Cup that much when it's leading up to World Cup. I just don't care. I care about it in the sense that it's time to get this team to gel. And a lot of our top names are not going to be there. We're only focused on Pulisic, but you've got no Jedi, you've got no Musa. no Tim Weah.
Right.
There are a lot of names that are off this roster that need to be gelling to get it together for World Cup. I don't have a lot of confidence in this team right now for World Cup. I just don't. They don't look good. They've not played very well.
Well, since Poch has been there, they have not looked good.
Poch has not done a great job.
They've not looked good.
And I don't feel like he's putting much pressure for these guys to be there. I agree. Maybe they're there and they come on as sub minutes. I'm fine with that. I do see the other side of, well, those guys aren't there, so MLS guys get a chance. But when I think about it, when they're really going to make the roster decisions, they already know the roster.
That's what I'm saying.
They're trying to pick between maybe a couple guys. Like last time they were looking
subs.
they're like, who's going to be the second and third striker that we might bring in? So work on those guys, but you know who your roster is going to be. So if I'm Poch and I have all this pressure and you're hearing all of these angry US, national fans screaming about it, you better make damn sure your team's getting together for training. And World Cup is the time to do that. And so, I don't put this on Pulisic. If he needs a break, whatever, I get it. But he could be there. But I'm not putting all of that on his shoulders when there are 4, 5, 6 other guys that are top players that are also not going to be there. And you have this, highly touted coach that comes in and doesn't seem to be putting any pressure for these guys to be the core of this team to build around.
Well, does that tell you that maybe he's also saying Gold Cup isn't that important?
It's
that our pre-World Cup camp and the fact that everyone you mentioned literally played in the World Cup together last World Cup, that those reps are more important than having a Gold Cup tune-up.
If I told
against
you
CONCACAF
that your team
teams
played in a tournament and then we're not going to practice it all until 2 years later, and then we're going to come together right before that tournament and play, when you had chances to practice, wouldn't you rather than practice?
I guess.
I don't think the World Cup or the Gold Cup itself, the trophy, the tournament is all that important to anybody at USA Soccer this year.
Yeah.
Other years, sure.
Right.
Because it's a trophy to win.
Yeah, we'll be following it. I'm excited to see what they can do at Gold Cup.
That is the thing that's being missed. It's that team gelling, and I think it's unfortunate for USA. I think it's very unfortunate.
And you say it's not on Pulisic, it's more on Poch. I get that, I really do. But heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Yeah.
Pulisic wears that crown. He is the leader. He does need to. It is expected of you. It is a job requirement. If you're going to be the leader, if you're going to be Captain America, to show up, whether your coach pressures you or not, you have a responsibility to be there.
I don't think he's ever wanted to be Captain America, though.
But he has it, and he takes all the credit for it. He walks around like he takes all the pricks of it with no complaint. But when it's time to put in the work and that kind of stuff, I'm not saying he does it, because he does. He works very hard. He's a great player. But the leadership part is you have to be there for that as well. It's just not, you don't get to pick and choose when you get to be the face of this USMNT team.
Yeah, no, it's I'll be interested to see how the Gold Cup goes and how these tune-ups and everything go. But yeah, I would just warn against losing it towards a guy who's still just 26 and has been through a lot over the last several years. And I would rather have good feelings and be well rested up and in tip-top shape for next World Cup instead of maybe putting unnecessary reps in before. But I mean, yeah, we shall see. It's how much time together a national team needs is a nebulous concept. And I guess overall, I'm just glad that people are freaking out. It means we've arrived. It means we're where we need to be. Quick break and shout out to ourselves, and let's get into this Portland game here. We have the Denver NWSL supporters group in the house for a watch party on May 31st. That's right. That's coming right up for the USA-China game at 3:30 p.m. Play a little hooky. Come in early. We've got a special on wings, $1.25 wings, $3 well drinks, and giveaways. So that's going to be awesome. We are also running
this
an incredible...
game will also decide if tariffs go up or not, so we better be aware of this.
Untrue. China, I think, knows better than that. But I'm excited to see how the women's team is looking, who gets the call-ups and everything. It's definitely going to be a squad that looks more and more different.
Yeah, it's fun though because the youth is so fun on this team.
Yeah, that's the beauty is they just
there's so
reload
much fun
with
to
more
watch.
phenoms.
and they do it every cycle. They just come in
Exactly,
like you get the
exactly.
Sophias, you get
Oh.
like the Trinity Rodmans, and it's just like this is
They're
dope.
good
like,
problems to have, no doubt.
Then you have like the Roses that came up last cycle and they become the veterans, the
100%.
Lindsay Hurons, and you're just like this is
100%.
dope. Like
Well, and then with the NWSL team coming, I'm even more excited to kind of do some scouting and watch, who's looking good. Start to build up my wish list, And then we've got a phenomenal Die Hard sale going on. We've just churned out such awesome content at DNVR the last several months, all year really. TheDNVR.com. You can check it out. Look at that intro offer, $36 for the year. And that includes a free shirt, which is insane. The shirt basically pays for itself. You're basically just buying a shirt and then getting a free year as a DNVR member with discounts on merch, events, the bar here, and access to all our awesome content. So check that out. Link in the description, QR code there. Okay. Portland game, guys.
real quick before we hit the Portland game.
Yeah.
Tiff, can you bring that tweet up for us real quick that I sent you? So the MLS tweeted this out this morning. Soon, star eyes. There's been rumors of Kevin De Bruyne going to Chicago. Cristiano Ronaldo going to Inter Miami.
Now, I think that has more legs because CR7's out of contract.
He's done.
He is out of contract. De Bruyne,
He's also out of legs, let's be honest.
Well, yes. De Bruyne, it seems, the latest rumors is it seems very likely that he's going to go to Napoli, but that's kind of all unfolding right now.
What do you think?
That's interesting. Yeah. I think it's CR7. I really think it is.
To Inter Miami would be crazy.
We
I
gotta send them somewhere. Like, I don't know.
I want him in Inter. I want to see Messi and Ronaldo.
That maybe hasn't had a lot going on lately. You know,
Rapids,
bro. Ronaldo after Richard
for low humidity
God.
and
That would
beautiful summertime
that
weather.
stadium will be renamed Ronaldo's dick afterwards. Honestly,
Kevin's saying to Seattle. I don't know that Seattle could. I don't think the Pacific Northwest has that kind of pull.
the
man.
rumor is
Totally.
Inter Miami, and it keeps bringing up that it's
I don't
Inter
know. I
and
believe it
Inter.
is Miami. Now, at some point, can we start just getting guys from Inter Miami at a discount price?
Oh, you already
Because they're violating all the roster rules in
Julian
MLS.
Gressel was on a discount, and only one team wanted him. Baller. They've picked up, dude. They've gotten a couple of players. Teams around the league have picked apart their depth
It's the way
because
to
of all
go.
this. Like the Rapids just haven't taken advantage
The
of
way
it.
to
But
go. It's not their vibe necessarily.
no, they don't like good old players. They like.
Do you have a guess that would make you happier than Ronaldo?
The only way it makes it happy for me is if he does not go to Miami. I don't need another reason to hate Miami. That team is quickly rising to FC Dallas level for me. Of hatred.
wow.
Like, it's the same reason I hate LAFC. You know, it's the same reason I hate the Dodgers. It's just, let's buy championships. Let's not show any real ability to build a squad. We've got people who watch the show that are better at building MLS squads on, manager. It's just Yaya could build a better team than the front office of Miami.
Yeah.
Like,
I probably would do the same thing though in one of my builds. Just
But
go
if
get
you,
everybody.
I'm saying if you can't just go out and buy and you had to build, I'd have more confidence in. I wouldn't have any confidence in me, but I have confidence in Yaya or several of the people that watch the show to be able to get on a football manager and build a better squad.
I get it. Like, and I agree with you, but it would be fun to see Cristiano with Messi for once.
It
Like,
would.
j-
For
like,
it would be fun for like a couple of games until you realize that the MLS is over for that.
I
But
just
it's
like the
not, though.
notoriety it brings.
Yeah.
Like, it's.
For sure.
But it's also not over. Messi, Busquets, and Suarez have been together for the last 2 years.
Yeah,
they
they
won
can't win
one
anything.
trophy,
Yeah.
Leagues Cup, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like they've got knocked out of the first
the
round by
beauty of it,
Atlanta.
man.
Messi
Like,
and Ronaldo together is way different than Messi and Busquets.
but it's a
Like,
40-year-old Ronaldo. We're not getting
Yeah,
Cristiano
he's-
Ronaldo like that can run. And
washed.
it's not the same. Like
But he is going to try because all these guys are trying to get up to speed for the World Cup.
Yeah.
so, it's
He
fun.
needs
to me,
minutes. He needs minutes.
and it's
Yeah.
to me, it's like what 6 month to 8 month experiment because we both
incredible.
know that it's like they're older. They're not gonna do as much. Like
Yeah.
this might be Cristiano's last year playing.
There
I
are
hope
some
it's
good
somewhere
points
else, but
about
it's probably mine.
how the Club World Cup fits into this new window that's been added, and him potentially wanting to play in there. I
What
also
a
think
load
it
of
makes
crap
sense.
That is, by the way.
And so that's why Kevin's throwing out Seattle, who is one of the teams in that. It's Seattle, Miami. Do you remember the two other?
Seattle, Columbus. I think it's in there.
And then someone played in. There was a play-in game, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it was LAFC that won. It was LAFC versus Tigres
Ronaldo.
or America.
While we're getting into stat cleanups, I should mention just a stat I looked up. Alexi Lalas never won a Gold Cup, just in case anyone observing Twitter thought any different, because he claims to be this tremendously successful soccer player. He was actually ass in the same league that Pulisic is playing in right now.
He was
where
asked in
Pulisic
every
is
league that he
phenomenal.
played in.
That just stating facts here, okay?
Well, it was back in the day when a
just a little
kitchen cook
history.
can make the World Cup for the USMNT squad.
That's exactly right. This game in Portland, fellas, I was like, boy, I'm not too encouraged when the game's in Portland. And so I was like, well, let's look it up. I'm sure that's a misconception I have, downtrodden Andre. So no. They've been shut out in 5 of their 10 games in Portland. They have an overall record of 1-8-1 and have only scored 6 goals while in Portland. And yeah, so I'm not super encouraged. On top of that, the Timbers are like one of the hottest teams in the league. And you can't even say like we're catching them at the right moment, because they just went through an unbeaten streak that just ended. So I think they'll be hungry to get back on the winning side now that they're back home after a brutal trip out to Orlando for themselves. Dwayne, you're our little ray of sunshine. What do you think?
Reasons for hope.
Let's
tonight.
go.
Unless Portland is playing a U.S. Open low-level team like Tacoma, or
Shout out Tacoma.
just historically bad team like LA Galaxy, or really just regular bad team, they don't score more than 1 or 2 goals. When they play average to above average teams, even on this unbeaten streak, they only score 1 or 2 goals per game. So that is a reason for hope.
Yeah, they're pretty low scoring. They're pretty low
Rapids
scoring.
are also a low scoring game.
Well, with Hafa out, especially.
So I think what we're looking at tonight is probably a low scoring, probably another boring game like we've seen the last couple of games. I'm fine with boring games as long as we win, like the last 2. But I think it's going to be one of those games that's probably settled on. It's probably going to be settled on a free kick or a penalty. I think it's going to take
Like
something
that for us.
weird between these teams. I do feel confident with Nico in between the sticks tonight. But this is going to be the first like real challenge that we see him have. This is a quality squad. We don't play well, as you've said. That's my biggest concern is we just don't play well against Portland in general.
I feel like
But
all away
at Portland
games
is really bad.
against the Cascadia teams are just a
Yeah.
murderer's
We don't
row
play
every
well in
single
the
time.
Pacific Northwest.
They play pretty well against Seattle most of the time. Like in that region.
I just
in
remember
Seattle.
that like
yeah, in Seattle.
that season opener at Seattle a couple years ago. That was like what?
But they also
murderer's
almost won it.
row.
If Georgie doesn't miss a penalty, they also beat Seattle
That's
last
true.
year.
That's true.
They're not horrible in Seattle. That's compared to Portland and Vancouver.
Historically, they're terrible in Portland, though.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Which is why I see this as a 1-2 loss for the Rapids, and I'm just gonna thank my lucky stars that they got those 2 wins in the lead up to it, so they can kind of afford to sacrifice those points away. But
that's why it's so important, right, to have those kind of 2 wins. Like
huge.
That's why you always build up some momentum, even if you're not gonna be the best team out there. At least like you have some room to wiggle.
And I think like a tie would feel like a win to me, given the circumstances and all the injuries and everything else.
100%.
That's where you are at as well, Yaya.
Yeah, 2-1. I think I have my boy Josh getting the goal,
Nice.
mostly just for vibes, and to laugh at people. I think that'd be fun. But
Love
it's going to be a defensive game all the way. Again, it's going to be not
Yep.
a lot of fun.
Which
like
maybe
Dwayne said.
suits the Pids right now.
Oh, 100%. I think
Yep.
it's going to be to their favor for sure.
Also, 2 DU rookies have a chance to go against each other, so that's always fun. Colorado kids at that, so all for it. I think that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much to super producer Tiff. And
Thanks, Tiff!
what do we say in these cases, Dwayne?
Oh man, we're gonna need it more than ever tonight.
We really are. We need it tonight. Saturday off, too.
Saturday off.
Barbecue from the
enjoy your
fellas.
Saturday.
Yeah,
Probably won't be raining because there's no Pids game.
of course.
So the
Why would
weather's
it?
going to be great.
As
Why
it should
would
be.
Tell them, Dwayne. Tell them.
Up the Pids.
Up the Pids,
Up
baby. Up the Pids.
Pids.
We out. Go Rapids.
We all silly like the mayor.